Gotta finish cruiser stuff. Gotta finish cruiser stuff.
Okay, so I got it to load the map. It took me a while.
Okay.
But now what I have to do is it's positioning all the maps in the same location. So something about the way it's calculating where the map needs to be placed.
Okay, so there's like offsets or whatever.
Yeah, and then also there's an issue with deleting a chunk. Because I started console logging like what chunk I'm currently in since I'm constantly running the update. And then I just started walking around, the black space to see if, like, okay, well, am I still on a grid? Is it still noticing what my XY coordinates are?
Yeah.
And it is. Like, it's console logging the accurate chunk that I'm in. So that's how I figured out that basically they're all getting put in the 0 position. There's no change in. So it seems like it knows what chunk you're in, and that's it. It doesn't know. I think I know what the problem is, because the way that they're figuring out what chunk it's in is by the file name. Since their splitter code works in a way that it numerically increments with a set prefix on the actual of the files, so if your world is world, it'll make world 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, X, right? However many world files it needs. So this function is being called when you add something to phaser load, right? But phaser load only has access to the key, which is the string of what it is. You know what I mean? So what it's doing, remember we were talking about the regex? At one point it's grabbing that key string, taking apart the prefix and turning that string number into a number, right? And that's how it's figuring out what chunk it is. I need a way to pass the chunk ID of that map to the load function. That's what I need. And
the chunk ID,
how to do that.
Could just be the XY coordinate of the chunk in chunk space.
I know, but there's no format to it yet. Like, it's just a folder full of tile files, right? And right now I only have one tile file and one asset, right?
Yeah, just name the files like x_y dot JSON or whatever, right?
I mean, if I'm gonna go that far, it'll be a lot simpler to just give it the chunk ID number, which is fine too, which I might do.
I mean, yeah, it'll still go in order.
Yeah, it's just for the purposes of how I was testing it, I was just using that same one map. But because the name of the file is very important to positioning where that tile map goes, this is where I'm coming into a problem, you see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, but you know what their X and Y coordinate is, right?
That can be calculated on the fly, because I know the tile size, I know the chunk size, I know the number of chunks. That's how it's calculating your chunk ID. It's not even storing anything other than, like, it's grabbing, it's dividing by the tile size, and that's
to
how
get the number.
Right, exactly.
Okay, fine. So then you know how many tiles are in a chunk, so just multiply that number, exactly. Then that's the position of the chunk.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is that in the one part of the code, that's all great. But the handoff for how it actually loads the file, because a loading thing has to be called async, and the way that these were firing were based on that callback for whenever you add something to the load cache, right? So that's when it fires. So basically there's this one functioning, putting these chunks and these maps and adding them to phaser load, then firing phaser load start, right? Since I added that event listener on phaser load start, it fires the render chunk, basically, right? But its only parameter that it gets is the key of the file name, which is the string that you associated with its file name. So that's where the problem is the bridge of that connection between there. So what I might do is fire an event center event. Phaser has this thing, these emitters and receivers called event center. And you can, I mean, it's mostly used for scenes communicating with each other. So I don't know if it'll actually be beneficial here. That might be something I can do. I have to reroute the flow of data for that firing to happen properly. Oh, I found out the I rediscovered, I keep forgetting this method, but how to get like really like nice smooth protein shake mixed without needing one of those shakers. Those shakers are a bitch to clean up. It's the same technique you use when making hot cocoa from the Hershey's cocoa powder, from actual cocoa powder, not the mix, because the mix has already been kind of modified for you. You know how like whenever you try to make cocoa or protein shake, because I'm assuming because of its makeup or something, it's like that powdery stuff that just clumps together and doesn't mix, especially if you put it with cold anything.
Mm-hmm.
So the trick to all that, whether it's the cocoa or the protein shake, is you put in your powder, and then, or you can do the water first. How hot does your water get?
I don't use water.
No. How hot does your water get?
In general? Pretty hot. I mean...
Okay. Like scalding hot? Like would it burn your hand?
It wouldn't actually burn me, but it's uncomfortably hot.
Okay. That should be good enough. But basically what you do is you get like two tablespoons of that hot water, and you just mix that with the powder first, so you basically get the syrup, the paste, and it'll become like... I just did this like 15 minutes ago. You mix it with that hot water, and it blends beautifully into like just this syrup or paste or whatever, depending on how much water you put in.
Mm-hmm.
And then just fill in your milk and stir it with a regular thing. Dude, it'll come out like perfectly mixed. Not a single crumb of like dry dust in the damn cup.
Ironically, I haven't had too much trouble with the mixers. I mean, it's annoying to shake it around, but...
Well, the main problem is for me, it's my experience with the shakers is it's not super efficient, because at the end the shaker is still pretty dirty and it's got a lot of chunks inside there. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know. I don't know what I did, but I found a way to prevent that.
For me, there's always been some chunks in those shakers. It was
always the order that you can never put the powder in first. I know that, because then the liquid goes on top of the powder, and then you can never get that leftover powder off the bottom, no matter how much you shake it.
because it sticks into the corner.
So I always put it in last, and then put the and then before putting the ball in it, I swish it around so that the top of the powder is also wet. Like, I just swish it around so that there's nothing visibly dry. And then I put the ball in, and then I shake it, and then it gets like 95% probably dissolved or more. And then the other component, like you mentioned, cleaning, like you just have to clean it right away, or else all the dry shit builds up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and caked on like protein shake is like almost like fucking like a putty, like a wall putty or something.
Yep.
And it's worse even with these fucking washing machines. Like they're kind of or these dishwashers, they're so counterintuitive. It's like if you have to pre-soak and pre-wash the fucking plates, why don't you just wash the damn plates? What the fuck's the point of it? Right? For me, my thing is like, dude, I'll pay for the most like aggressive fucking cleaner that I can get, right? But I want to be able to just put my dishes into the dishwasher and just run it. I don't want to have to because then what's the point? And then if I have to run it 2 times, then it makes it even worse. And so lately, I guess the brand that I chose this last time wasn't good enough, because it's leaving like residue. So I'm thinking that that there's probably like, because you know how it cycles water within its own machine when it's washing, kind of like a washing machine. Like it fills up with water, then it kind of like swishes that same water with the soap around a while, drains it, does that again with soap, then rinses it, then dries it, right? That kind of setup.
Mm-hmm.
In the inner tubings of it cycling in, I think that there's like food will get in there, So maybe like the filter's not working properly. And then in the rinsing cycle, some of that residue will come back out. And then it goes into the drying cycle. So now all that residue it just spit out is like dried and caked onto everything. And it's not everything. Like, it's really weird. It's like 80% of it will be really nice and clean, no marks. And then the other 20% of the cups, you look into it and there's like residue at the bottom of the cup or whatever it is. There's something that's still on there.
Mm-hmm.
I know sometimes it's just too caked on, like I definitely should have pre-rinsed it first. But other times it's like, this cup only had water in it, why is there residue in it now? Like, it's dirty. It's dirtier when it came out, like, you know, some things. So I'll have to like run it again and it gets really frustrating. I don't mind doing dishes. I wish I had a big sink, like one of those big 2-compartment sinks and a nice drying rack.
Yeah.
I'd do that shit by hand. I mean, honestly, if I had a house and like I had the money for it, I would get like a restaurant dishwasher. Like the one where you just put it all into that one tray. You put it into the machine, you close it, fucking 90 seconds later, everything is spotless and scalding hot. Because yeah, man, it just makes the most sense. I'm sure that would be crazy for a house, though. I don't even think like Ramsey's has that. So what are you doing now?
Just finishing up some cruiser stuff for when you actually escape it. Well, I also have to do...
Do you have the explosions happening when he escapes?
Yeah.
Did you get all the sound effects working?
I got some in there. I never really had sound effects for everything originally, so I just gotta like go through and decide when and where to put certain sounds. I don't really have that many sound effects in total.
And it's not something that you would...
I mean, maybe. They're easy enough to do for the most part if I'm okay with just a bunch of like lame sounding 8-bit sound effects. Then whatever. I guess it's better than nothing, as long as it's not annoying.
Uh-huh.
What do I want here? I need the glass shard. I guess it'll be no, it won't. Or you know what? Yeah, I could just make up a number. Plus. Okay. If window, so I need window. Motion prefab. Window. So what I'm going to do here is make the window disappear and instantiate a bunch of window shards.
No, really? That'd be cool. Did you have that?
Yeah, I did. But I think I did it to where you had to literally like jump against the window. So you had to collide with the window while jumping and then it would shatter. But then I figured like, well, for some reason there's this weird logic where like that doesn't work unless you've destroyed the reactor already. So it's not really intuitive that someone would figure out that you can do that. So I just figured, so my new thing, and I didn't really want to change anything, but this just makes more sense, and it kind of works the same way, which is as soon as the reactor explodes,
You've already changed enough, man. That's up to you.
No, I haven't.
Sure you have, because you've been having to rewrite it.
Well, I mean, gameplay-wise, like in reality, not too much is.
No, I know, but you
very
know what I
much the
mean.
same.
Like it's in a different coding language. You've rewritten some of the functions. Like yeah, the elements are the same. You're trying to recreate the same
Yeah,
kind of replay, as the other one, but
of course.
you've completely remade it. You know what I mean? It's like if I made a copy of like a famous painting, it's gonna be a copy, even though however close it could potentially get.
Uh-huh.
It's its own entity, even though it's a copy of another painting.
Uh-huh.
That would be different than if it was like I took a picture of that painting and I posted that picture. Like, you know what I mean? Wouldn't that be some shit? It's like you're a failing artist, and then a photographer becomes famous for just photographing your picture, and they get more than notoriety for the photo.
Yeah. Where's that here?
Ain't that?
So yeah, I'm just gonna have it that as soon as the reactor gets destroyed, the window also just explodes into shards.
All right.
So destroy the window and then instantiate the shards. So I need to know the window height before I do that. And I need to know how many. I'll say something like 20 shards. All right, so max y equals window dot. Does it have a collider? I think it does, because it's like a wall. Oh no, it just happens to be the wall. But I can get the sprite renderer size or whatever. Oh, it's called reactor window. Okay. So that would be sprite renderer. Size. Let's see. This is actually reactor window. Dot position y plus. Let me get. I guess the x position would just be the same, so it doesn't matter. Sprite render. Window sprite equals window. Plus window spread dot size. Probably get the size. The size to render. Location of sprite on the original texture. Texture dot width of the texture in pixels that I don't want. I guess size. Let's see, size dot render 2. Instantiate that. Gosh, I'm gonna have to make it so that this is a script. velocity. And then position x plus velocity dot x position dot y plus y. And then it has some gravity component. Velocity dot y plus equals that's pretty much it. And then if position y is less than -1, destroy the something like that. Okay. Shard. Let's see if I have one. If I have it here. Reactor window. I don't think I have it here. Alright, let's go get it. Window shard. Let's bring that into the scene. This is going to be on top of everything, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 would be not enough. I'd probably have to do like 30 of them. No, this would be platforms front here. And then a random rotation of some kind. Could take care of most of it here. Let's see. Velocity dot x equals random dot range.
You ever done a mystery box from Amazon?
No.
I was just thinking about that.
Rotation equals random dot range 0 to 360. Transform dot local angles. Jeez, somebody moving furniture.
I think it's like the dump truck across the street. Everything echoes, like in the city, because of all the tall buildings. Everything fucking echoes, dude. Like somebody could be walking down the back alley, just having a normal voiced conversation, and I could like hear them clear as day if I'm by the window. Sometimes it's crazy because it almost feels like someone's like you'll hear someone talking like they're in the room almost. And you're like, oh shit, it's just like crazy echoey reverberation.
That's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then rotation plus equals 360 times. So they're going to be rotating as well. So if just instantiate the shard. Like a bunch of them. Whoops. Where'd they go? They all get destroyed. They moved really damn fast. Yeah. That gravity is pretty intense. Okay. Let's bump that down to just 10. That's a little bit more realistic. So what does that look like live? Okay. Maybe just one. That's not bad. Let's do like 2 then. And then I want actually velocity.y to be random range 0 to, or I guess like -1 to +5. And then they can fly in an arc. Nice. That looks pretty good. Oh man, they flew pretty damn far. Alright, it's a little too much of a... Let's go 3. And the X velocity is pretty insane. Also 3. Alright. Now let's see how many I can instantiate safely. I imagine it's like 100, but the game probably wouldn't.
And then what, you have them fade out, or how do you get them to disappear?
Just as soon as they fall low enough.
Oh, I see. Oh, because you're giving them a physics body.
No, I'm just manually moving them. It's simple enough. They don't have to collide with anything. They're just little.
You're creating like an animation, particle effects.
Yeah, it's basically like my own version of a particle. Check it out. So sure? I guess not. It's a requirement these days. You got to share everything. Jeez.
Gotta be more open, bro. Go ahead.
All right, so here's like the zoomed in version. Here's all of them together. I just started in pause mode, right? So
okay.
All I did was put, I guess, 6 of them, and just kind of see what happens when they play out. And so stepping through, there they go. Some of them shot off that way. Some of them.
And they'll be behind the thing, right?
Yeah. It seems like some of them got the same values.
Yeah, it seems like they're clumped together. I only see 4. It says you have like 5. Oh,
these 2 are in the exact same spot. My guess is that they started off with the same values. Is it because this... Where is it? Oops, not that shard.
Fucking seed values, bro.
Oh, because it's using integers instead of floats. So I'll just do...
Instead of outtegers.
1.0, 3.0... Let's try that again. That should be a little bit more random. There we go. And they just explode out with different x and y velocities, and and they're rotating while they're falling. So now I'm going to instantiate like 100 of them at the same time. So like cruiser, as soon as the reactor
Can you give
blows
them
up,
a random size based on value?
you know what? I didn't even think about that, but I guess I could. I guess I could do like minor adjustments, right? So I could say like scale, and then scale equals range 0.2 to 2. It's a pretty big range, and then transform back equal scale equals new scale. See how that plays out. Okay, not bad. They're all different sizes now. That's pretty funny looking.
Oh, because they look like little Tetris pieces almost.
Yeah, they're just little triangles, more or less.
They almost look like little ships that are about to just like take off in little fires.
Yeah, little paper airplanes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty good. So that was a good suggestion with the sizes. Okay, so now that I have their positionings figured out, so for int I equals 0, I less than 100. I don't know, is there a faster way to write an iterator that's just like for 100, and then the I variable is automatically created for you?
Yeah, I see what you mean. I mean, I think the only other way you could do is maybe instantiate an array of empty values, but the number of values that you want, right? So you could be like an array of 100, and then do that array dot for each or dot map kind of thing.
Yeah. That's okay.
It's the only other way that I've seen, but most of the time I like using a for each or dot map. It just has to make sense though. But this seems kind of like a workaround. Like it's not that much cleaner to do that way than
if this were like a because you can't do it. You can't do it in C#, but you could do it in C or C++, where you could just like pound define your own macros that just like basically like replace the code for you with like, so I could write like hold on, define and then for num, and then whatever I want to replace it with, which is going to end up being for int I equals 0, I is less than num I plus plus. Open the bracket like that, and that's basically like saying like whenever somebody types this, replace it with this, and that variable num is going to go wherever you say it's going to go here, right? So that I could write like here for 100, right, and then close the bracket, or I could actually open and close it manually because I don't have to put it there, right, like that. And then I have it because all that code was written for me by the compiler. Anyway.
Interesting. Okay. It's essentially writing your own little reusable function.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, like you could write your own syntax, basically, for the language itself.
I get it. There's so many ways to do this stuff. I mean, therein lies the problem of like the question, what is the best way, which everybody seems to be preoccupied with.
Yeah, it's whatever works best for you, man.
Exactly.
Honestly.
It's all use case.
If it makes
So,
the program that you want to make and it works and it's good enough, I guess. To
even if it's the best, most well-written code, give it a month and it won't be anymore.
probably. I mean, are you saying that it's going to be updated?
Well, not only that, because it has to be it's always on state updating, so it's constantly changing, right? Like there are for example, how many times have you had this where you're like working on Windows and everything's great, then an update happens, and then a thing happens that particularly affects you, or like a super massively known issue arises from that update, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, but also is the technology and the world around it is updating. So even if this was the most efficient way to write this code, technology is constantly advancing, so they will figure out more, better ways to do the same thing with an ever evolving thing.
Hopefully evolving correctly.
Yeah, again, that's based on whose judgment.
Exactly. What is this position here? This is okay. So shard position. 3. Shard position. Come on. Okay, that should be it. Okay, I hope this works. Okay, let me delete all these window shards. And go to cruiser. Where's window shard prefab? It's not public. Oh, damn it, I never made it a prefab. Alright. Shard. That's pretty much it. Okay, let's test it out. Okay, now the game view is so tiny. Oh, I can't see anything. Where's the game? There we go. Oh, what? Oh, I mean, they exploded. I just didn't get to see it that well.
It's too fast?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot that while the player is inside, it's supposed to be moving to its second position. Second stop is 3, so... door open. Player inside. Seconds. This player inside. Second stop. Second stop. So once the player gets inside, I have to re-enable entered equals true. Build component. 2. What was that? My power just like flickered or something.
No, no.
I don't know what's gonna happen. Am I not gonna move with the...
Should probably save then, huh?
It's saved.
Not
Oh yeah, it's kind of moving. I was moving with it. What's in for today? Finishing up this damn thing. Where the hell did they go? Trying to get these this window to explode correctly. So let's see here. A bird spawned in this interesting spot. .107, 2.5, 697. Man, I can't check those values if your breakpoint is going to keep me from touching Unity. What's the player's position? 2.6. What's the minimum? 2.5. I guess that makes sense. And the max is 3.1. That looks like it's about right. .5, yeah, 2.80. You know what, I'm just gonna do this. Gotta hit continue here now. Right. So where the hell did they all go? Right, oh, I forgot that the sprite renderer on the shard was set up wrong. It's supposed to be platform front and layer 1000. There we go, that'll fix that problemo. Yeah! Oh man. I guess I gotta destroy that, Yeah, and Unity can handle like probably more than 100 shards without breaking a sweat. That's like nothing. Okay. I also gotta delete this wall. I guess the wall, I could make it part of the window and then it would just destroy itself. Like here. Prefab this wall. Just put it right in there. All right, check it out.
All right, let me see. Oh, the ship is still there?
Yeah, ready?
Yeah.
Such a massive explosion. I need
Yeah.
sound effects though. Doesn't do it justice.
If you put like a explosion animation also kind of around it, almost like a wave. If it looks like at least
that
like
probably
a
makes
wave
sense, yeah.
emanating from the center of the blast, then the glass breaking would make a lot more sense. I mean, that is what's happening. You just don't visually make that connection right away.
True. No, that's not Unity's particle system. That's just something simple, stupid I threw together. It actually instantiates like 100 game objects that fly in random, with random velocities. Here's the, they don't even have like physics bodies or anything. It's just hard-coded dumb physics. You can see that's pretty much the gist of it.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I also want to do this other thing, which is like... moving the player at the same time. Do I have the player up here? Yeah.
I wonder why some websites disable right-click.
I think they don't want you like copying stuff for some reason. I don't know.
No, but I mean, I get that that's how their solution to that is, but now I can't open things in a new tab, and that kind of kills my user experience.
I think you can like control or alt click on a link, and it does it.
To automatically open it in a new tab?
It's something like that, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, holy shit, this price is freaking $2,000.
Probably just cache that. Movement. Oh, I have it. Shit, movement. Movement. Oh, then why am I doing this? Movement. What's going on, David?
Avid.
It's going good. Just knocking out a few more pieces of glass. Okay.
What about glass? Glass?
Glass shards. Oh shit. Because he was moving more than once. I guess only do that. This is really hacky, but whatever. Yeah, it kind of does. I guess I could make some of them explode into the thing as well. But then they'd have to, like, land. Would that make sense?
Would what make sense?
If some of the shards, like, landed inside the thing, too? I was just trying to get the... Well, for one...
Into the, like,
room?
in the direction of the engine that you just blew up? No.
Wouldn't make sense, right? Because it's a giant explosion.
No. Mm-hmm. I mean, with movie logic, I don't think they've done that one yet. But especially with Tom Cruise movies, there was one fucking Mission Impossible where, like, the direction of the blast and the way that it moved him was so counterintuitive to what was actually happening. He was running away from an explosion.
Mm-hmm.
The car was about to blow up behind him, right? Directly behind him. He's running away. He's about to pass a car. The thing blows up. He gets thrown into the car sideways. And, like, it makes no sense.
I don't know. I mean, it was, like, behind him, but it was, like, at a horizontal angle, so...
No, it was like, dude, it was way more... It wasn't like a clear diagonal line, which would have made total sense. The way it was framed, it was, like, right behind him, and he got, like, thrown into the side.
Yeah, I do remember that, but I'm fairly convinced it was, like, diagonal. Let's see.
Yeah. I mean, not to mention that would never happen. You can't ride the impact blast of a fucking... That's not how that works.
I mean, yeah, he was, like... He was flying through the air and was being pushed sideways.
Because in a lot of movies, they take the concept of their... It's almost like...
Apparently he, like, bruised his ribs in that shot.
Yeah. Oh, he's, like, Jackie Chan level of, like, commitment physically.
Okay.
But in movies, they kind of deal with, like...
It is pretty far. No. There was, like... I don't think it's from... Maybe it is from the car explosion.
I mean, it's really coincidental timing if it's not.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you could say, like, because it's here, a blast could technically come... Like, it goes mostly... toward the screen, but
okay,
if that's the case, he would have gotten flown really far. Like,
he didn't get thrown in a diagonal. He got thrown in, like, a straight line directly into the car.
Yeah.
Kind of drawing like a direct line in your head. That's what I was saying. And not to mention, like, we can't overanalyze this, because if we were to actually overanalyze it, then none of it makes sense, because, like I was saying before, they picture explosions to work like they do underwater, which even then they still wouldn't work the same way. They picture, you remember, like Mythbusters, when they do the explosions and stuff?
Yeah.
With the high-speed camera, you see the air cushion, right? That's in front of the explosion. So people will see that and be like, "Oh, look, it's separate from the explosion. It's like a cushion that pushes you away," right? But it's moving too fast. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, in the outer radius where that spread bubble slows down to the point where it can actually move you instead of moving through you like it does at the beginning. Because I specifically remember those Mythbusters episodes, especially with the grenades. So, like, you can totally dodge out of the way of a grenade, and you don't have to go that far. You can outrun a grenade and survive. Mm-hmm. The problem is that most of the time, when you die from a grenade, it's not the actual explosion that kills you. It's the shrapnel that gets shot through the air. Yeah. That'll, like, go through your lung, or, like, it just microscopic, sometimes pieces can, like, go through you, and you have internal bleeding. You don't even know. But if you're within the blast radius, shrapnel be damned. That air pressure that gets to you before the shrapnel even, like, starts coming apart will shatter the bones in your body as it moves through you.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Yeah. It's like there's no time for your body or physics to react. It's moving too fast through you. So, like, in animes, they like to do that shit a lot. Like, oh, this building's coming down. Like, quick, get on that motorcycle. This is our last chance. I hope this works. And, like, they bust out through the window right as the building's falling. Then an explosion, like, pushes them even further and they land on the other building or something.
Sure, yeah.
Then they say like some quip. Animes are almost like action movies, but way it's different. It's hard to say. They always have their lines. They say like the protagonist is always like the action hero with their little quips and shit. And some nonsensical crazy thing always happens in the climax.
So what if I make it like 1,000 shards? Will that lower the frame rate then? I just want to test it now.
Or are you getting too much of a lag on it?
No, I just want to... No, I had it at 100. So now I'm testing the limits. I want to see if 1,000 is a lot.
Oh.
Whoa, shit. No, it's not actually. It handles it just fine, but it looks ridiculous. It looks like a window the size of the building exploded. Or a window just the size of the ship exploded. It's like way too many shards. Check it out.
Oh, hold on.
See if there's a significant frame rate drop as well.
Go ahead. Whoa!
Yeah, they're pretty uniformly distributed.
I think
so it looked like a giant rectangle was moving?
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I'm not moving anything. It's just the fact that they're uniformly distributed. Even though they're supposed to have different x velocities, so their distribution should change over time.
That range of velocity should be, like the lowest should be close to 0, but not 0.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think it is. Well, it's...
I mean, none
oh
of
no,
them,
it's 1, so I could do like 0.
Drop right in front of it, yeah.
Yeah, so that's probably fine. I could lower the max velocity on the y-axis as well, so they don't fly too high up. Let's see. Maybe their rotation speed should be faster. Maybe the gravity should be pumped up a little bit. Rotation. Let's do...
Are you adding the gravity as individual to the object that has gravity on it?
Yeah, they all have the same gravity. They don't all have unique gravities.
So if you change the gravity for the glass, you're changing the gravity for the guy too then?
Oh, no. They don't use global gravity. No.
Well, that's what I was asking.
They're just their own.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. That's a little better.
Yeah.
It's still...
That's way better.
it's still way too many shards. Like, there's no way that much glass was in that tiny window.
I don't think I saw it at 100 though. Do 100.
Okay. I actually think that 100 might have been too many as well. Let me do 50. Has to look believable, I guess.
Yeah.
Look where that bird spawned. You watching?
Yep.
There.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
That was pretty good, yeah. I like that.
That's pretty good.
That was 50 shards.
Oh, nice.
50 shards of glass.
50 shards of glass on the wall. 50 shards of glass. Ouch. Oh, fuck. Damn. Oh, crap. 50 shards of glass on the bar.
Alright, so that's taken care of. What's the stream length? Just hit 1 hour. Exactly.
1 hour.
Maybe that's it. Let me see what else there is on the list. So the ship is supposed to magically like move into position so you can jump back in it when after the glass breaks. So, and then the cruiser is supposed to start crashing down once you're out. So that's player insight false. So that is over here. So we will start moving position.x minus equals 220. -5. I don't really know what the size is supposed to be. I think it's like 3 high, so maybe -3. That's a lot. We'll see. Then destroy this guy completely.
This is so weird. I've never put an order and it asks me for a tip for the company. Isn't that strange?
So I'll move the ship once the player is inside and the ship is in position here. Now I know where the second stop is, so as soon as the player is inside. It's getting dark here. Is it cloudy? Player dot current. Oh, he has no current ship. He's not in the ship. Previous ship? Am I keeping track of that? Previous ship. Previous ship is current ship. Yeah, cool. Okay. Guess if I have a previous ship, which I hope I have, makes no sense if I didn't.
Oh shit! Now they're integrating coin payments. Have you seen Sezzle?
No.
Hmm?
I have not.
It is it's basically like when you're gonna buy an order online, it's like a payment option basically.
Oh, okay.
Where it breaks down your, or let's say you have $100 chart, right? Like the total is $100. Well, it gives you 4 installation payments.
Oh, okay. That's kind of like there's one that I've used before. I forgot what it's called. It's on the tip of my tongue, but it's exactly the same service that any merchant can integrate with.
Yeah, exactly. So that kind of merchant integration setup they're now using.
And they don't even need usernames. They just do one-time passwords with your phone number. That's fine. How are you going from script to script so fast? You mean when I'm like jumping between them like this? That is control page up and page down. And I think I manually set that one up. So I'm holding control and I'm pressing page down on the keyboard to go this way and page up on the keyboard to go that way. I think I manually set that one up inside of, where is this stuff anyway? Like tools, options. Oh man, text editor. And I think it's specific. It might not be in text editor actually. Let's see, where was it? Now I want to know. There was keyboard shortcuts somewhere. Keyboard. And you're looking for tab, something to do with tabs. Edit, tab left, insert tab. Hold on, it's all this table stuff. Next tab. I think it's window.next tab. Yeah, control page down, right here. See that? And then previous tab. No? Previous tab? Window.previous tab. Control page up. Yeah, as soon as I discovered that I could do that with a keyboard shortcut, it was much more enjoyable to never touch the mouse. Like, I find using shortcuts is so handy now to just never have to touch the mouse while I'm just going and editing anything.
Yeah, you're big on that. I can't remember to do all that shit, but I was always notoriously bad with shortcut keys and stuff.
It just increases productivity.
Oh, it definitely does, but you have to be the kind of person that it integrates well with.
Yeah.
Like, you either you have to be that person, or you have to train yourself to become that person.
Yeah, I had to train myself.
Yeah, because it's not intuitive at first.
Especially with like I had this issue for a while where like I would like type and type and type, and then I'd move my arm to the mouse, and then I'd move my arm back and forth. My arm moving back and forth, I started getting like popping in my shoulder just from my arm moving back and forth, and it was so annoying. And I was like, how can I just make it so I don't have to touch the mouse? Also, using a trackball mouse is great, so I don't have to move my arm around too much when I'm using the mouse.
I see. Okay, so how to...
Due to game dev. Oh, trackball mouse. I also have these gloves. I don't use them often because they're kind of like, they're pretty damn tight. They're supposed to help prevent carpal tunnel, but yeah, they really do restrict your wrist movement. So I don't use them often. Let's see. They weren't too expensive, like $15 on Amazon or something. Let's see, float x. Let's see, ship x equals. So this is going to be second stop x plus the ship's width. So that would be box collider dot size dot bounds dot max dot x, and then plus like 1 unit. And I'll just do position ship x 0 0, or I guess whatever the z value was, I don't know. And this is just ship position. So I'm going to secretly move the ship to a new position. And then once the reactor blows up, which is right here, I'm going to secretly move the ship again. If ship oh wait, hold on, I have to do that.
So when it...
Let's see, that's the window blowing up, that's all the explosions. And this is checking that, so let's move the ship here. And oh, let me just do this. Player ship position. Player dot previous ship dot transform dot position. If ship position dot x, no, y is less than, it's gonna have some target y position. where would I say that that is? 3.5? 2.5? That sounds about right. Or I'll just do greater than or equal to 2.5. Then I'm going to be moving. Oh no, then I'm going to be stopped. Position.y equals 2.5. And where is previous? Where dot previous ship dot position equals ship position. And ship position y equals plus equals 2.0, something like that. So the ship will move. It'll come up out of the trees after the reactor blows up. Let's see if it does it. So as soon as I get in, it should disappear. There it is, it's gone. Kind of weird. Where is it really? It's secretly in the wrong spot. Oh wait, no it's not. Get out of here. Oh, that's really far away. So if I oh, what the hell just happened? That should not be happening because I'm still in the ship. Oh, box collider bounds max X. Oh, okay. Position dot X plus. Right, okay. And when I move the ship secretly the first time, second stop X plus box collider bounds dot max. Oh, yeah. Max. Oh, plus. Oh, I could just do that. Box collider max X. Oh no, I can't. Box collider. I guess I'll do size X divided by 2. Divided by 2, because max X is like a world position that's changing, and that's why the ship was in the wrong spot. I should at least put it in the correct spot. See where it is. Well, now it's completely in the wrong spot. That's not correct. All right. Why? Okay, hold on. Bounds dot size? Oh, that's weird. Okay, hold on. Just box collider dot size dot X. And then what I'm doing here is box collider bounds. So again, this is also strange. So I should just do the same thing. Position.x plus box collider size.x divided by 2. Here. Okay, the ship is in the correct spot. All right, and there it is. I missed. All right. Let's see if I can actually reach it. Ah, did it. that thing falls really fast. Alright, so the ship is a little too far away. 0 point. What was that? It was 1 unit away from the end? I guess let's do half a unit. It's pretty far in this game world.
So when it's done loading...
That was pretty rad. Fast braking. Another thing I gotta do is line up when cruiser enters, pause the ship spawning, pause the other enemy ship spawning. When cruiser destroyed, resume ship spawning. That one's should be pretty easy to take care of. And then the ship should be crashing way slower than what it was. So where's that crashing speed? Right here. X is probably fine. Let's do 1 and then 0.5. Oh, also it has to like re-enable, right? So I gotta like redo this and re-disable. So I have to like undo this nonsense.
Crap, the easiest solution here would be to just make a bunch of them.
So I have to do the opposite of this. True, inside, false. And then this stuff happens here. Right, is greater than 0. Wait a second. Inside renderers. Oh, but they're all set to 0 by default or something? Yeah, they are right here. Okay. So then I don't have to set it to active. Inside set active. False. I don't have to do that. I just have to fade it back out to 0. 0. Holy shit, we got a storm. I got some lightning.
Oh shit.
Less than. Okay, c dot a minus equals that. So c dot a is less than 0 equals 0. That's it. Oh wait, which one was that? Oops. This was the wrong one. Okay, if it's less than 1, so this should be if it's greater than 1? No. Yeah, if it's less than 1, do all this stuff. Right, where if it's greater than 1, set it equal to 1, increase it. Here, if it's greater than 0, here if it's less than 1, yeah, okay. If it's greater than 0, do this stuff. If it's ever less than 0, it equals 0. And that's, and minus equals here. And that fades that back in. This is some super hacked up code, but it's okay. There's all kinds of weird. I guess it's fine. Okay. So that should fade the inside out. It did. I just missed the jump. Oh, it's not blowing up anymore though. And there it goes. Eventually it'll get destroyed. There it goes. Okay. Wow. I don't know if you could see that flash on the webcam. That was some lightning.
No. Oh, I'm not. Yeah, I don't turn on Twitch usually.
Oh man. You should, man. Give me that extra viewer, concurrent viewer.
I think you're doing all right, man.
That's like the only stat that apparently I'm lacking in.
You mean number of actual viewers, or?
Yeah, number of like the average number of concurrent viewers.
Yeah.
Or concurrent.
I mean, you
people
definitely
chatting.
have to do some kind of marketing. It's really difficult to just become viral like spontaneously.
Yeah, I don't expect it. I mean, the only reason I started this was because of Crypto Console, usual viewer. Yes, you are, and I greatly appreciate it. And it's fun chatting from time to time, in between all the nonsense of what I'm doing here.
Mm-hmm. Well, it definitely seems to keep you on track for finishing it, like on a deadline. So. I don't know, that deadline's been.
Yeah, there's no hard set deadline, but it's.
But I'm just saying that like you're continuing at a certain rate because of the streaming
consistency. It's keeping me honest to my, or I guess.
You're an honest man.
What do you call it? I guess I don't have to try and muster up the motivation. I just know I have to do it, and that's it.
I was watching a review for Beetlejuice earlier, and I realized a couple of things that I don't think.
Oh, you also stream game dev? Let me go check that out. I didn't even check that.
You never even check your fan, bro.
Oh my God, he's a baby. Oh, are those Star Trek ships? That's what they look like. All right, you're making a shooter? Are you doing like multiple different projects?
Should make a shooter, but call it McGavin.
You should just make a mini golf game called McGavin's Mini Golf.
But it's a shooter, so you're about to swing the first time, and then these aliens just crash land. You gotta kill them.
Well, I always wanted to do the one, where you do like the power meter or whatever, and the guy hits the ball, and then as the ball is flying through the air, it transforms into like a little ship, and then it turns into it turns into a shooter game, and then depending on your performance and your initial like power and like angle and stuff, it all determines where you land. Or I guess just the fact that you also have to make it through the shooter level and then your ball can finally land. Otherwise, you would just get blown up.
Imagine this. Imagine you're on like some crazy space golf course, right? And like the whole course isn't in front of you. You're like in almost like you remember VR in The Mask when he hit the VR. It wasn't VR, but kind of VR golfing game where he had like a projector screen.
Yeah.
shot the golf ball into. Okay, so instead of a projection screen, imagine like a portal kind of thing, right? Let's say it's a map, like a celestial map that represents a portal. The other end of the portal is pointing into the rest of the golf course.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, where on the map of the portal that you shoot your ball into determines on, like, what kind of, like, the enemies or the area of that level that you will face. And then, like you said, yeah, right, where, like, depending on how that thing, how the outcome is how much, like, how fast and your angle and all that shit coming out of the other portal.
Yeah. That's kind of how they do, like, the arcade mini golf games. The ones that are in, like, the actual... Well, I guess they don't exist anymore, really. The old, the video game arcades. Some of them do, but they're just not as popular, I guess. But anyway, so they had those, like, little golf games, and it was just like a little ball hanging on a string that you hit with a real golf club, and it measures, like, the force and everything.
Mm-hmm.
With that, and then it, like, translates that into what you see on the screen.
I wonder how the wear works into something like that.
I'm sure it needs upkeep. Well, I don't know. You want to learn how to read my code? I don't know. I just write the things that make the thing work, more or less. I don't worry too much about making it look clean or nice or anything like that. At least not at first. If I really think that something is like a total mess and completely unreadable by me, then maybe I'll do some stuff with it. For the most part, I just want it to do the thing that makes it work. I used to get super obsessed about that stuff though, back in the day. I was like, man, I gotta make sure that like everything's like separated all nicely, and like if I'm doing this thing, does it have to be like a function so that I can reuse it later? But I probably never will anyway.
Thank God for Prettier.
Oh, the auto formatting stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's just like formatting the tabs and stuff and things like that, right? It doesn't actually determine how your code is ultimately structured.
Well, that's what you were just talking about.
No, I was talking about the actual... Well, I was more or less talking about the structure of the code.
Yeah. Making sure everything's as abstracted as possible.
Yeah, which is kind of unnecessary.
That depends how big the project is, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. You want to abstract where necessary when there's like a big piece that's, like a database layer.
Well, I mean, generally speaking, abstraction is never a bad thing to do. It can only improve your code.
I completely disagree.
How so? Give me a reasoning or like a situation where it would not make it better.
Where it would not make it better. If you... Because it makes it a lot more difficult to know what's going on in the code. It doesn't affect it like during the runtime. And all your code files, I guess, are as small as they could possibly be if you're talking about maximum abstraction, right? Where everything's like one function call. But then like whenever you need to like look at anything or debug anything, you have to like go to the function. All right, this function calls 3 other functions. All right, now let me look at like which one of those is being called, and then you go into that, and then now like the variable names have changed like 3 or 4 times because you're like 3 function calls deep. It just gets really, really hard to know what the hell the code is doing.
Okay. That's a fair enough point.
Especially when I see like all these like patterns, design patterns, right? That people like force into their code, like factories and providers and stuff like that. So like every code, or I was looking at a code base where like no matter what it was, there was like 3 or 4 files for it, and one of them was like a factory, one of them was like a factory, an abstract factory, and then a provider, and then the actual class itself, which was really just like a little bit of data. It was just makes it really hard to like know what things are supposed to be doing.
I see. Loader is coming from.
And I guess sometimes the abstraction requires you to do specific things that could end up slowing down the code. Because it has to, like, if your abstraction has like a generic type, it has to like understand the type at runtime, or like change the type during runtime.
Okay.
Weird things like that.
Yeah, I guess I haven't dealt with that level of abstraction.
Yeah. Or like, if you have like this, I guess, thing that you're doing, I don't just trying to think of a good example. Almost like, like if it's heavily abstracted, like it's also designed in such a way that you want to like use it in multiple places. Maybe, I don't know. So a lot of times that like reusing code without 100%, like, you only really need very specific parts of the code, but you're reusing like the whole thing when you're calling like a very generic function.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it does the thing you want to do, all the other things that it's doing you might not really care about.
I mean, I guess. I mean, I understand the point of that. The biggest thing being just you're right. It makes it make less sense unless you were the one to make it that way, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, if you're the only person on the project and it makes sense to you, whatever.
Right. But that's already setting up. That's bad for the project because relying on one person in a way that most people would find counterintuitive.
So I think I finished it here. Coding style is different than what I'm used to seeing. Yeah, I've gotten that. So what was the last thing that I wanted to do here? Well, I guess make it like pause the incoming ships. Okay, so when the cruiser enters,
Okay, so now if I go back to this one,
what actually does that? Okay, it has ship movement. If I move him out here,
perfect.
okay, I could manually make sure there's no ships in the same area unless I want there to be. So as soon as he's entered, if not entered, entered equals true, it's right here. Well, I guess I'll just leave these things here and hit level manager instance dot. Where did I call that? What did I call that? Did I create that? Oh, pause. pause enemy entrance movement. And then once it's destroyed, which is right here, resume enemy entrance movement. So then if there were other enemies, like this guy, and this guy, and this guy, and they were right here, so let's see if that even works. Oh man, they're moving way faster than this thing is. What's their speed? Shouldn't they be moving at the same rate? Oh no, because he's already in the scene. So let's see if he can get there before everybody does. Nope, didn't.
Alright, so then
oh, this guy's... I guess his movement was to stop. Yeah, okay, let me just remove that. Remove selection. I'll take that one away. Infinitely. So let's pull these guys back a little bit more. See if we can actually make it into the scene before they do. Alright, okay. These guys are still here. Oh, did I hit it? Did I never make it so that they can't get damaged? It's pretty funny. Alright, so here's this thing. Let me make sure that I don't actually kill him. Uh-oh. Okay. Now that guy should... As soon as I get out... There he is. Alright. That is everything for today. Yeah, so ground enemies is next. And that's it for the cruiser until... And then I just gotta finish up a couple of these other things. So what's left to finish off World 1? Let's see, World 1. Specific stuff. Yes, switching levels, yes, this, yes. This is not dependent on anything. This is a higher level. It's up there. Okay, so really just a few things left. So actually, all right. I don't know if this is going to take me an entire stream. It might. Well, I got to make the enemies. I got to give them, like, health, and they can die, and they don't really shoot, but... Oh, they do shoot. One of them did, anyway. To randomly generate them on both sides... yeah, I guess it's won't be that bad. We'll see. Tomorrow's Friday, right? Yeah. So let's see if I can finish up that by tomorrow. I'd be pretty happy. All right, cool. All right, thanks for hanging out. We'll be back tomorrow. Take it easy.